Hi, Connor. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
You're good? Last week, I know we had a bunch of issues with your housemate. How are things this week?
Well, this week's honestly, I gotta say,
Mhm.
it's been better in the sense that I haven't been around the house a lot, but it's getting worse in the sense with the conflicts I've had to deal with him in the past couple days. That's what really wanted me to get out of the house because it's just like sometimes I just need a breather, and it's like honestly, it's sometimes I'm just like, you know what, I'm not trying to go back, and like I try and find other ways to not be there, but that's just like not good for because that's my house.
Yeah,
I would like to go live in my house and
Mhm.
eat and sleep on a regular basis.
Mhm. So tell me more about these conflicts.
I don't know. Like this week, he got real violent with me. It was honestly this is the last time I tried to help him.
Mhm.
Since then, like I said, I've been avoiding him. He, it was pretty weird. Like I was chilling with him and his friend, and he started bringing up stuff that we had, talked about before. And then he brought it up in front of his friend, like, and then started making me look like I was the bad person in the argument. And I wasn't the bad person in the argument because, the way he explained it, it was very, like, one-sided and didn't really show my side of things. And so I try to, like, combat him a little and say, like, hey, like, you're kind of saying a lot of rude stuff in front of your friend. And he immediately just snapped and started saying, like, like, you're a fucking woman, like,
Yeah.
you're a piece of, like, blah, blah, blah. Like, it just got intense, and it was like, call me a woman?
Yeah.
Like, what are we, in 5th grade? Like, I don't know. Call me crazy, but...
that's a little immature.
Mhm.
So it seems that it's causing you pain because he doesn't want your help.
Yeah, it really is because I see myself as a very helpful person. And I've been there for a couple of my other friends back at home, not for, like, what this kid's experiencing, but, for, like, other things. Like, I've definitely dealt with people who've had harsh conflicts. It's just, like, sometimes it just really gets to me that he's, like, not willing to let me help him. And it's, like, hard in the sense that I'm giving him all this, like, ideas and information, and he just throws it out because he thinks it's crap. And it's like, and he thinks I don't care. And then in the end, he thinks I don't care. It's like, how do you think I don't care? I'm putting in the work,
Yeah. So what it seems like you're saying is that he's not owning up.
No, he's really not because, like, he'll make promises, like, that's what he calls them, or he'll make deals or goals with himself that'll tell me, and I'll be like, that's good, dude. That I'll encourage him, and I'll say, like, hey, let's see how it goes. 2 days later, he's doing the same thing over and over again, and it's like, well, dude, you're just relapsing. You're not even trying to push for it. You're not trying for it. So, like, it bothers me in the sense that he says he's going to try, but I feel like if he really were to try, he put in more effort than just 1 day or 2 days, since it's been an ongoing problem.
Okay. Has he always been like this?
I don't think so, no. I mean, I lived with him sophomore year, and for the most part, I could tell I had just met him, and we shared a room together, and he wasn't doing half the stuff he does now. Like, he wasn't stealing my clothes. He wasn't, swearing his head off at us every step of the way. He wasn't saying all these conspiracy theories that you think is going to happen, like someone's out to get him. Like, and it's like, I feel like something had happened along the way where he must have got traumatized or something because, like, it's just not normal for some of the things he has said.
Okay. All right. And how has, like, your relationship been? Like, when it was the good times?
Well, when it was the good times, it was good. Like, we got a bunch of laughs, like, especially sophomore year. I played for the lacrosse team, but he was on the lacrosse team, but we still got along very well. Like, I was able to chill with him and all the housemates. We would play 2K all the time. We would watch Netflix at night, like, joke around, have a good time. Like, boys being boys. And then it just, like, I guess it took a turn. Like, apparently I heard recently that, by word of mouth from a friend, that he had lived with him for the year after mine, and he actually had a breakdown and had to go see help for that. So I don't know if this may be another relapse kind of deal.
Okay.
That's what I'm really worried about, to be honest.
So you are even though he's doing all these bad things to you, you're still very worried about him?
Yeah, very. Like, couple times I've been in a situation where I didn't know if I should call the cops, his parents, or someone at the school because I felt unsafe. One time I've seen him sneaking. He snuck a knife up to his room, and it's like and like it's cool. Like it was normal if you would just bring a knife up to your room, and because who knows, maybe you're cutting a banana in your room, having a bowl of cereal. A bunch of my other housemates do that, but the fact that he hid it in his shirt, brought it upstairs, and snuck it in at the last minute. The way he was holding it, it was kind of dark and gloomy. It kind of felt, like something wasn't right. And just recently, he's been doing a lot of stuff that's been very abnormal in a sense. The other day, I would be hearing him laughing. Soon after he'd be crying, and soon after he'd be laughing again. So it's terrifying to hear because it's I've never heard this before going through something.
Yeah.
So it's how does that happen?
Have you thought about talking to maybe his parents or someone at school? I know you said you wanted to call the cops. Have you thought about talking to them?
Well, I feel like calling the cops is just too harsh because and then in the end, if he finds out I did it,
yes.
What if he takes that out on me? And so that's a really hard question. I guess I would have to start with his parents, but I know from some friends that his parents don't really care about him, especially after what had happened a year ago. Apparently, they kind of just shove him off and let him do his own thing, and just put money down on him whenever he wants more money. So it's it is bothering me. I don't really know who to confront. So, I mean, that's where I'm at right now.
So how is he with the house? Is he respectful of the house, or does he trash it?
That's pretty funny because he would sometimes be coming up to me, blaming the mess in the house on my roommates, and then my other housemate, my other roommates, would be blaming, or he would be blaming on me, and then. After this one time where me and my two other housemates actually chilled without him there, which is a very rare occurrence because he kind of chills in his room the whole time, we were able to talk about things, and we figured out that he was really colluding to try and get us against each other.
Okay.
And it was very rough because to hear that
yes, of course.
Well, why? What are we 5th grade? What are we trying to get people against people for? And I feel he just handles things in a very immature fashion, and it's not worth dealing with anymore.
You seem very frustrated, but you were laughing over it. Is there?
Yeah, I feel like I'm laughing because, in a sense, I kind of feel like it's ridiculous because I've never experienced it, but I am frustrated, and I feel like I am more frustrated about it. I'm kind of laughing it off and letting it go. But I really I feel like now it's the time to push, to make moves on something because it's a more serious time.
Yeah.
Than it's been.
Okay. Well, last week you were saying he has issues with drugs and his behavior. Is his behavior worse, or do you see it better?
His behavior is getting worse. He's, like I said, he's getting more violent. The other day when I was listening to him laughing and crying and laughing and yelling, that was a very, very obscure moment in my life, just hearing that. Because the kid's in his room by himself. And he's talking to nothing, but yet you hear him talking to something. Yeah. And I don't know, the behavior is just escalated. He seems to not care about our stuff more than his. He'll take more pride in his, yet he'll leave his stuff everywhere. And he doesn't really keep a clean house at all. And he'll go out and party on the weekends and leave a trash room for us to pick up, and then, like I said, say it's someone else's. But we're not blind. We're not we can see between the lines.
Okay. Well, something I wanted to talk to you about was the form you filled out. It says that you have slight aggression. Do you think it's because of your housemate, or?
I would say it definitely is. I've always been a good kid growing up. I never really had problems. I've never really had confrontations with kids because I've always gotten along with a bunch of kids from different high schools. I would get along with everyone. I didn't really have beef. But when I did, it wasn't I felt aggressive towards it. But now it's just sometimes it frustrates me so much to the point where I have to leave the house, or I'm afraid that I'm going to confront him in a manner that I don't want to. and then it could get ugly.
Okay.
But I feel like I would never be the one to throw a first punch. That's not me.
Mhm.
That's not. And if anything, I would agitate to get a punch thrown at me so I could throw back.
Okay.
But I don't like violence, like I said, and I feel like the aggression has only really led from him.
All right. Well, are there any goals that we want to set up for next week?
I don't know. I really think talking to someone that involves caring for him.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that'd be huge, not only for him but for our house. Like maybe talking to school about just the situation can help me with my academics, and maybe they'll be able to help me sort a way to find him help, like through psychologists or something. Because this is helping me. Why can't this help him?
Mm-hmm.
You know. Other than that, I would say another goal would be to try and get back on my grind. You know, like getting homework done on time, being able to enjoy being home.
Mm-hmm.
I would say like a nice goal setting would be to be able to sit out in my living room like the whole day and bang out work and get stuff done in a peaceful manner.
Mm-hmm.
That would be a great goal.
Yes, it would, definitely.
Another goal would be to try and find a way to keep him out of the house for a little bit. You know? But I don't know how I would go about doing that.
All right. Well, it seems like you're very worried about him and you care about him even though he causes you all of this pain. I think if you talk to either your landlord or counselor about your housemate and get him the help that he needs, it could definitely be a burden off of your shoulder and you would feel better about it. So next week we'll talk more about this and we'll see how these goals go.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
No problem.